Fire officials work to figure out what caused this.
Also this morning, Governor J.B. Pritzker and his Republican challenger Darren Bailey come out swinging in their first televised debate.
And thousands of people gear up for the Chicago Marathon. Here we go. It's a rainy Friday morning.
Live from Chicago's #1 news, ABC 7 Eyewitness News at 7 starts streaming now.
Here we are. Good morning, everybody. Streaming now. Good to be with you. I'm Terrell Brown.
Yeah, happy Friday.
Yes.
I'm Val Warner. This 7th. Look at that. Look, what does that prompter say?
7th day of September.
It is not September, y'all. Even though we want to go back to September.
We would love it.
We want to go back to September because that weather in September was mwah.
Yeah.
This right here, we got to break out the windshield wiper because it's been raining. Although we're looking out here at our State Street studio, looks like it subsided a little bit.
That's the nature of the lake effect rain. Yeah, I mean, just down the road, right? They're seeing those showers out there. This is going to start training itself more kind of behind the camera view, like into northwestern Indiana. But directionally, we're kind of straight into the camera and farther away. And here's the view from Live Doppler 7 Max. So our camera's situated right about there. So in kind of this shower here as we get our newest frame. And then we're, of course, here in this drier spot. And I know it's subtle, but subtlety is what it's all about when you're talking about some lake effect. We'll see those scattered showers continue through the mid to late morning hours, becoming less and less widespread later today. And temperatures, they don't really go very far, Roz, probably only in the mid 50s and much cooler tonight. We got frost advisories to talk about.
Yeah, traffic isn't going very far either. It's bumper to bumper with 40 to 50-minute travel times. And then we've got this solid delay eastbound on I-80 from before Larkin all the way to US 52. It's down to 1 lane until Monday. That's the 5th weekend they've been doing this construction. 3 more to go. We've got a problem south side 95th and Eggleston. A 2-mile freight train is stopped there. It's forcing the CTA and a lot of traffic to reroute around it. And then we've got new closures in Grant Park for the marathon. Very, very rainy looking camera there. Chopper 7 there over the south side. The Dan Ryan backed up 95th all the way to downtown. Val and Terrell.
All right, Roz, thank you. Well, breaking overnight, officials say a person was found dead at the scene of this intense fire in Gary, Indiana. Take a look at these flames. At this time, the coroner's office is only saying that the victim was a male, but no age has been given. This happened late last night at 631 West Ridge Road. The building has a business on the ground level with 10 apartments above. Firefighters use ground ladders to rescue residents on the 2nd floor balcony. The fire is currently under investigation.
Early voting for the general election starts today in Chicago.
Voters have a lot more to think about after last night's heated debate in the governor's race. Jessica D'Onofrio has that live from the Loop Super site at Lake and Clark. Jess.
Well, Val and Terrell, early voting in Chicago will kick off in just a few hours. This early voting super site here at Clark and Lake behind me will open its doors at 9 a.m. Meanwhile, Governor J.B. Pritzker and Republican candidate Darren Bailey squared off last night in their first head-to-head televised debate, and it got pretty ugly. The candidates traded punches on crime, abortion, the Safety Act, and more. The debate often turning into a shouting match. Pritzker and Bailey tackling tough issues, debating gun control in the wake of the Highland Park mass shooting.
I believe we ought to ban assault weapons and high-capacity magazines in the state of Illinois.
The Highland Park shooting, it shouldn't have happened because of the laws that are on the books. But when Governor Pritzker doesn't follow or obey those laws, these things happen.
Bailey went after Pritzker over speculation he may run for president. Pritzker says he intends to serve 4 more years as governor if he's reelected. Now, as for early voting here in Chicago, only 2 sites will be open starting today. That's this one here at Clark and Lake and another one at 69 West Washington on the 6th floor. Val and Terrell, back to you.
All right, Jessica, thank you. You'll find a complete voter's guide, including polling places throughout the city and the suburbs, on our website, abc7chicago.com.
This is new this morning. Charges have now been filed against the Maywood man who was shot after walking into a police station with a gun. 43-year-old Tariq Bland faces several charges, including aggravated assault of a peace officer. He was arrested Wednesday. Police say he walked into the 10th District Police Station in North Lawndale and pointed a gun at officers. Police shot Bland in the arm. He was taken to the hospital for treatment and then was arrested.
8 people were rescued from Lake Michigan last night after several boats overturned. This is video from a beach camera in Evanston at the time of the incident. Waves were about 6 feet high, and officials say it's fortunate that no one was hurt. The waves caught boaters completely off guard in the area of Clark Street Beach and the Dempster Street boat launch.
The lake kind of flipped on us and capsized some boats, multiple people in the water. We had a full water response. Deploying these units immediately as fast as we can was crucial.
Officials say everyone is accounted for. A Chicago Fire Department helicopter performed an aerial search of the lake to just make sure that no one was left in the water.
It is Marathon Weekend here in Chicago.
That's right. It's a major event drawing thousands of people from all over the world. Diane Pathew is live at Grant Park, where the race will start and finish. Hi, Diane.
Good morning to the both of you. Yeah, it's raining and so cold this morning. It is not going to be the case on Sunday. The weather is going to be quite pleasant for tens of thousands of runners. The Chicago Marathon makes a big impact in Chicago economically. Lots of money comes in. And, you know, there's so many supporters for this race. This is the 44th year for the Bank of America Chicago Marathon, attracting runners, as you mentioned, from all 50 states and 100 countries, making it one of the premier athletic events in the world. The Health and Fitness Expo, before the run, brings in about $32 million in sales alone.
It's thousands of people that have committed to the marathon and have done the training and made their way to Chicago, and they're going to discover themselves and discover an amazing community.
The marathon starts in Grant Park, winds through 29 neighborhoods. Last year, there was a scaled-down version of the race, but this year it is back to full capacity with 40,000 runners. Now, according to Choose Chicago, listen to these numbers. The marathon creates over 2,500 jobs and equates to over $100 million in wages for those workers. Val, back to you.
All right, Diane, thank you so much. Later on in this hour, we're going to be live with a Chicago area man who is racing in the Chicago Marathon for the very first time, and how and why he's raising money to bring mobility to people with disabilities. That interview is coming up at 7:45.
Breaking news, 3 winners of the Nobel Peace Prize were announced early this morning. This year, the prize is going to a jailed Belarus rights activist, the Russian group Memorial, and the Ukrainian organization Center for Civil Liberties. Judges made their announcement in Oslo, Norway. The award follows a tradition of highlighting groups and activists trying to prevent conflicts and protect human rights.
Now to the war in Ukraine.
Yeah, President Biden issued a warning saying that Russian President Vladimir Putin is not joking when he threatens to use nuclear weapons on the battlefield.
It's coming as Ukrainian officials investigate potential war crimes carried out by Russian troops. ABC's Jay O'Brien is live in Washington with the latest on this. Jay.
Val and Terrell, good morning. With war raging in Ukraine, the president saying last night the risk of nuclear Armageddon is at its highest level in decades. This morning, President Biden making his most outspoken remarks yet about the threat of potential nuclear war. The president arrived back to the White House last night after telling his audience at a fundraiser that Russian President Vladimir Putin is, quote, not joking when he talks about the use of tactical nuclear weapons or biological or chemical weapons. Biden added, we have not faced the prospect of Armageddon since Kennedy and the Cuban Missile Crisis. U.S. officials have warned Russia could use weapons of mass destruction in Ukraine as Moscow faces a series of strategic setbacks. Ukrainian military officials say they've now taken back more than 150 square miles of land from the Russians since October 1st. And as Russian troops retreat, they're leaving behind new evidence of atrocities. Alexander is the deputy head of the team looking into possible war crimes. He says in practically every town, there were such places where people were brought in for interrogation and torture. His team getting a tip on a potential mass grave and unearthing this, an apparent torture pit dug into the ground. Buried near the bottom, what appears to be civilians. Meanwhile, the exodus of fighting-age men from Russia is taking a new turn. 2 Russians fleeing Putin's military draft have requested asylum in the U.S. after sailing across the Bering Strait to a remote island that belongs to Alaska. The Russians were taken to Anchorage for processing. The narrowest distance between mainland Russia and Alaska is about 55 miles. Now, the governor of Alaska says he does not anticipate a steady stream of Russians heading into his state anytime soon. Val and Terrell.
Jay O'Brien in Washington this morning. Jay, thank you. If you or your child need a vaccine, the Chicago Department of Public Health is hosting 2 COVID-19 flu vaccine clinics tomorrow. The clinics are at Olive Harvey College and Arturo Velasquez Westside Technical Institute. They're open from 9 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon. Primary series vaccines will be available for anyone 6 months and older, as well as boosters for young children and anyone 12 and older. And walk-ins are welcome.
Well, today is the last day of the season to enjoy the Chicago Food Truck Festival. 10 popular food trucks will be on hand to serve a variety of foods from classic cuisine to mouth-watering fusion. The festival, which began back in May, attracts downtime lunch crowds during the spring and the summer, and it all takes place from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. today at Daly Plaza.
Go get that last meal out there.
Right?
That sounds good. Live and local news just getting started this morning, streaming out loud. On the way, the I-Team is uncovering thousands of broken traffic lights at intersections across the city of Chicago.
But first, Greg has your AccuWeather forecast, freeze watches and warnings for parts of the area as we head into the weekend.
Plus the mystery of fall colors. Why do leaves change colors this time of year? And what does it mean for the health of that tree? It's on the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi everyone, those rain showers still hanging around the city. Lake effect rain showers. Temperatures have lost another degree, now down to 43. And it's going to be a struggle for us to get into the 50s today because those winds keep on moving out of the north. They keep on bringing over that cloud cover. Now out away from the city, there are some hints of sunshine to kick off this morning, just not nearly as much around Chicago or off to the south. And it's going to be a fight to also get into that sun just due to the cloud cover that's attached to these lake effect raindrops. But the closer you get to the city, the more overcast you're going to be, and it's probably going to stay overcast in the city just about all day long. Again, getting those hints of sun out off to the west. Here's the later afternoon as those rain showers switch their way into northwest Indiana. And temperatures tonight as the skies clear out, they are very cold. We have freeze watches out for the areas I'm pointing out here, like Woodstock and Crystal Lake. Huntley's at 31 tonight, maybe some upper 20s. Look at Geneva, Sugar Grove, Aurora, Oswego, all getting into the upper 20s. Then in DuPage County, there's a frost advisory, so certainly going to see some frost. May, like Naperville, even get down to freezing. A little bit warmer in the city during the overnight thanks to that lake water temperature, but still upper 30s to lower 40s to kick off our Saturday. Good news is we turn it around for a marathon weekend, high of 65 degrees for the Chicago Marathon. Ross?
Very slow out there. We've got 45 to 50-minute average travel times, and we've got a couple of pretty bad crashes. First off, there's a 3-car crash inbound on the Edens at Wilson just before the junction, so that's quickly backing things up. And then we have a serious injury crash on Route 53 northbound at Northwest Highway. Significant delays there from well before Kirchhoff. This is reported with entrapment, so a lot of emergency vehicles are responding there. We've got long delays on northbound Lakeshore Drive approaching Grant Park because we've got new closures in place for the Chicago Marathon, and they include Jackson, which is now closed from Michigan Avenue all the way to DuSable Lakeshore Drive. We've got a closure on Columbus that extended north, so it's shut down from Roosevelt all the way north to Monroe, and the new closure is Ida B. Wells from Michigan Avenue to Congress, as well as that Van Buren Circle. So it's just going to cause a little bit more of a delay, and we've got more closures that will happen tomorrow all the way up until Marathon Day on Sunday. Valen Terrell.
All right, Ross, thank you. Thousands of complaints about broken traffic lights, all exposed. This after one man turns to the I-Team to help with his traffic light safety concerns.
Yeah, he said the city has ignored complaints to get these lights fixed. Consumer investigator Jason Knowles is answering the problem, and here's what he found this morning.
Some of those lights were not being fixed for almost a year after reports to 311. Those broken traffic lights could be confusing to Chicago drivers. And as the I-Team discovers, pedestrians are also in harm's way.
I'm very frustrated that a process in the city is broken.
Lakeview resident Ed Hayes has been reporting broken traffic lights to Chicago's 311 app, but many of those lights are still burned out. So is his patience.
It's a huge safety concern because the duplicate signals or the multiple signals at an intersection are designed to create redundancy. And when one of them burns out, the redundancy is lost.
The lights go unfixed, and to make matters worse, his unresolved complaints are listed as complete on the 311 app.
I mean, it's clearly not resolved. The light is still burned out and it's been over a year.
Like this light on the 800 block of West Belmont.
You can go look at the individual requests and see the time it took to complete it. This one took 1 day.
Hayes found and reported this broken light on Belmont back in November of last year, and here it is recently, a red light in the middle of the busy Belmont and Halsted intersection, not working. The I-Team discovered that 9 out of 10 broken traffic lights Hayes filed complaints about a year ago are not fixed. Hayes says he contacted the Chicago Department of Transportation, his alderman, and even Mayor Lightfoot, but he says no one responded. Hayes also reported the light at this busy three-way intersection of Halsted, Clark, and Berry.
Definitely potential for danger and a pedestrian getting hit or cars colliding.
People who walk around this area are concerned.
I mean, I live around here, so I walk through this intersection all the time, and particularly this one with the different angles and more than 2 streets crossing. There's a lot going on, so if someone misses something, I would obviously hate to see someone get hurt.
The light is not clear for us, you know.
So you're worried that a car may not see the light and hit you?
Yeah, the people has to be concerned to look around.
And we found the broken light complaints are well beyond the Lakeview area. Under the Freedom of Information Act, we found that CDOT had more than 29,000 broken traffic complaints in the last 20 months. Then we chose a dozen of those complaints from different parts of the city and checked for ourselves. 4 traffic lights out of 12 were still broken. Crews were recently fixing one of the lights at Cermak and Kedzie that was reported broken back in January. CDOT declined an on-camera interview and did not address why some of the unfixed lights in this report were marked as closed, but told the I-Team that crews are out 7 days a week maintaining and repairing the more than 3,000 signalized intersections in Chicago. Crews respond to traffic light outages as soon as possible to ensure the safety of all road users. Repairs are prioritized based on the urgency of the problem, such as when all traffic light signals are out, and that Chicago follows the federal guidelines from the Manual on Uniform Traffic Control Devices, which requires a minimum of 2 working traffic signals at all intersections.
Why does this frustrate you so much?
When I contact people, they seem not to care that the process is broken or acknowledge the process is broken.
Besides that one light you saw being repaired in the story, only one other light was fixed since we checked late this week. CDOT encourages residents to report any outages or malfunctioning traffic signals by contacting 311. Jason Knowles, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Thanks, Jason. When we return, the toll the pandemic may have had on the children's mental health.
Plus, Second City gets another location, and it's not in Chicago.
Eyewitness News streaming at 7 continues after a break.
A concerning report about how the pandemic may be affecting the mental health of your children. According to a new CNN Kaiser Family Foundation poll, 47% of parents say the pandemic has negatively affected their kids' mental health. Nearly half of those surveyed say they worry about alcohol and drug use, anxiety and depression. A majority also say they worry about self-harm or pandemic-related loneliness and isolation. And the FDA releasing a new study that says more than 2.5 million middle school and high school students in the U.S. admit to using e-cigarettes. The findings are based on a 2022 National Youth Tobacco Survey. Health officials say the study shows that our nation's youth continue to be enticed and hooked by an expanding variety of e-cigarette brands developing and delivering flavored nicotine.
And the U.S. Navy is expanding its partnership with Cook County Health. They'll train naval medical providers and support clinical care at Stroger Hospital. The agreement was signed Thursday by the Navy Surgeon General and the CEO of Cook County Health. Under the expansion, a complete reviving surgical team, including physicians and nurses, will train together at Stroger and then deploy so that they're ready for combat.
Chicago's beloved Second City Comedy Club is expanding to New York City. A new space will open next summer in Brooklyn's Williamsburg neighborhood. It will feature a theater, classrooms, and a restaurant, and of course a bar. The club announced the expansion in a tweet, calling it a match made in comedy heaven.
It sure is. Love to see it growing. And you know how many people have started right here in Chicago, comedians?
It is a long list.
A really long list. So good for Second City. Congratulations to them.
All right. Well, right now we're going to join our Good Morning America viewers.
Yep. I'm going to have a news update on TV. You'll see it here in just a bit. And yes,
when we come back, that's right. When we come back, some suburban Pee Wee football players banned from the playoffs over a teammate's academic advancement. This morning, the compromise reached to give some of those athletes a second chance.
Okay.
Now, an update from ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Good morning, everybody. 7:23. I'm Terrell Brown. A person is dead in a fire in Gary, Indiana. The coroner's office is only saying that the victim was a male, no age given here. Happened last night at 631 West Ridge Road. The building has businesses on the ground level, 10 apartments above. Firefighters rescued 2 residents from a second-floor balcony. Investigators are still looking for a cause on this morning. We'll keep you posted. Let's check the forecast, see how things are shaping up today. We got rain out there, Greg.
We do have rain showers and temperatures in the lower 50s at the very best. A lot of us starting off this morning in the lower 40s. That's how close we are to this rain being snowy. It feels weird, but you got to look at the calendar. We're getting there. 57 degrees for our Saturday. Some patchy morning frost, as most of us will be in the mid to upper 30s, but some will get into the lower 30s or maybe even upper 20s tomorrow morning. If you live west of DuPage County, out there closer to I-39, there will be some 29s and 30s to kick off our Saturday morning. Chicago Marathon looks great. Still kind of cool there for Monday, but back above normal on Tuesday and Wednesday with 70s returning. Roz is after the break with traffic.
Now's the time for a healthy start. So let's move. Let's rest and recharge. And put our health first. Let's be well. To do that, let's eat well. Breathe deep. Find joy in the little moments. And do what we love with who we love. Together, let's live well. Advocate Aurora Health.
Welcome back to a very slow morning, and that includes CTA, Loopbound Brown Line, and Purple Express trains. They're delayed because of a train with mechanical issues at the Merchandise Mart station. So give yourself some extra time. But boy, you're going to need a lot of time on the expressways, or just wait a couple hours till all this is over, because right now we're still looking at 45 to 50-minute travel times. We also have a very serious crash on northbound Route 53. At Northwest Highway. All lanes are closed. This is involving 3 cars, an overturned semi, and reports of entrapment. So they're going to be dealing with this for a while. The northbound delays start at Algonquin. We've got gapers on the southbound side from before Palatine Road. We also have a crash in Beach Park, southbound Sheridan, just north of Beach Road. A very busy morning out there with this rain.
Bigger. We just be talking.
Yeah. And mics be open.
Yep. Hey, everybody, welcome back. So there's the rain on the camera right there. And Greg's been talking about the rain that's moving through now, lake effect rain. Thank you. 43 degrees. It's chilly out there right now. Wind will warm back up, and when we'll get rid of some of this rain here in just a little bit. So this has gotten a lot of talk lately, and we want to get a follow-up to you on this. It's a win now for the Glenwood Cougars this morning. There has been an agreement reached to reinstate most of the teams to league playoffs. The entire franchise was suspended when it was discovered that a 13-year-old player was taking high school level courses. The Southwest Midget Football League said league rules ban high school players. 200 players and cheerleaders were banned because of this.
And the younger levels of the Glenwood Cougar franchise are now eligible to play in the postseason, but the varsity level remains banned from the playoffs.
I need some more information.
I do too.
Yeah, it's not enough for me here.
Yeah, because this story that we just read said he was taking high school level courses.
Right.
Whereas the initial report, we thought he was in high school. There's a difference.
Yes, there is. Right.
So I think all of that has to be examined and looked into, and hopefully the right decision is made in the end.
Yeah. Coming up this morning, we'll see how that goes. We'll keep you posted. The mystery of trees. Why do they change color, and what do those colors mean when it comes to the tree?
We're going to be unraveling some clues.
You're watching ABC 7 Eyewitness News at 7, streaming live now.
Let's take a look at some of the stories that we're watching for you today. One day after Governor J.B. Pritzker and his Republican challenger Darren Bailey faced off in their first ever televised debate, early voting begins in Chicago. Today, voters can cast ballots at the super site polling locations in the city. Early voting at other polling places citywide starts later this month. Election Day is Tuesday, November 8th.
Today is the last day of the season to enjoy the Chicago Food Truck Festival. 10 popular food trucks will be out there to serve a variety of foods, from classic cuisine to mouth-watering fusion, all going on from 11 this morning until 3 this afternoon at Daly Plaza.
And today is the final day to submit nominations for this year's Chicago Christmas tree. The city's 109th tree will once again shine this holiday season in Millennium Park. The ceremonial tree lighting ceremony is set for November 18th. Well, good morning to you. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Val Warner.
And I'm Terrell Brown. So good to be with you over here on the couch. Let's get outside, see what's going on this morning, and you can see it right there. The picture pretty much says it all, Greg.
It does, and look at that water splashing around there on the seawall. It's making it look, it's making the seawall do its job. And not so many boats, I don't think, are going to be at their moorings here after this weekend. I feel like this is the weekend that a lot of folks are going to be like, yeah, it's time to winterize that thing, especially as you feel how temperatures are early on Saturday morning. Look at that as we speak. I'll stretch a little and let that scan complete. That was the latest scan from Live Doppler 7 Max, taking a look at those lake effect rain showers, and that's indeed what these are. The front causing the showers, or the front that caused our first round of showers, is now way out through western and even central New York. So that thing's not hanging around anymore. And these rain showers are driven solely by the wind direction. It's north, it's cold air, it's moving over a warm lake, and that's how you get lake effect. Lake effect rain right now, lake effect snow a little bit later on in the season, and we're pretty close to that at this point, to be honest, with lower 40s this morning. Lower 50s on the way for this afternoon. That's the warmest we get. Some peaks of sunshine, especially out away from the lake. But tonight there are freeze watches and frost advisories. We'll see who has what coming up. Ross?
We're still looking at 45 to 50-minute average travel times on most of the inbound expressways, but we've got a much bigger problem in the northwest suburbs. This is northbound on Route 53. All lanes remain blocked at Northwest Highway. This is a very serious injury crash involving 3 vehicles and an overturned semi. It's on its side, pretty much straddling all lanes of traffic, so they've got a lot of emergency crews responding at that location. Terrible delay. It's backed up almost all the way down to I-90, and then we've got a big southbound Gapers delay that starts before Rand Road. So we are sending the chopper. Hopefully by our next traffic update, they will be on site. In the meantime, we're taking a look at our Grant Park cameras, trying to look through the fog and then the raindrops over there, because we've got more closures in place, especially on Columbus Drive, which is now closed off in preparation for the Chicago Marathon from Roosevelt Road all the way north to Monroe. And that is causing delays primarily on northbound DuSable Lakeshore Drive, on the brakes from before the Stevenson all the way through into Grant Park. Val and Terrell.
All right, Ross, thank you so much. See you in just a little bit. So let's get to what we're talking about this morning. And fall foliage leaves are just starting to change around here. But how vibrant will the fall colors be this season?
Yeah, meteorologist Larry Maurer, you wanted to bring you the answer, so he went straight to the experts at the Morton Arboretum.
A few trees there, a few trees here. The fall colors starting to show. It's a special time of year when our trees prepare for the season to come.
It's a great time to wander around.
Dr. Christy Rollinson is a forest ecologist with the Morton Arboretum.
This year has been a really great growing year for most of the trees out here. So they're coming into fall with big green leaves. And so that means that they're healthy and can put a lot of energy and take their time in getting that green out, and it leads to this very vibrant color that I think we're in store for this year.
Many come to the Morton Arboretum to take in the changing colors.
The color of the leaves, how vibrant they are, plus the timing of when they change, can really tell you a lot about the health of a tree.
So if your tree is changing color weeks earlier than other similar trees in the area, or if the color is just kind of yellow and not that great, that can also be a clue that we should look deeper and try to figure out what's wrong with the tree.
So what causes the leaves to change? Is it less daylight or colder nights?
There's definitely some trigger with the daylight, but it's the cold that really speeds it along.
But why do leaves change color?
So the change in the color is actually the removal of green. It's breaking down the green, the chlorophyll, that's the energy of the energy house for the tree. And when it does that, it reveals these other colors, bright yellows that are always there but hidden by the green.
The trees are removing that energy from the leaves and preparing for winter, but there's still much we don't know about this process.
We still haven't been able to link the vibrancy of color or the timing to how well it sets up the tree for the next year. And it's kind of what does good fall color this year mean for the tree and mean for next year. And so how can we use the information of what we see from day to day to better plan for the future?
Scientists like Dr. Rollinson continue to study trees year-round to get some answers.
Get out and explore your neighborhood. Trees that are growing healthy and receiving lots of light will tend to be the ones that'll be the most vibrant color. So it's a great opportunity to just kind of walk down your block or walk over to the nearest park and see what's going on.
But now, it's time to enjoy the show the trees put on for us. Larry Maurer, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
before we have to get out there and rake all them leaves. So yeah, enjoy the show.
Yeah. I was just thinking about that driving home yesterday. The wind was going and so were the leaves. I thought, here we go.
Yeah, but it is gorgeous. I mean, stunning, and of course here. And Roz, you've traveled all over the state, I bet, and have seen this.
Oh, it's just incredible. You get into Michigan and Wisconsin and a lot of places in Illinois. It's just beautiful.
Yeah. It is by far my favorite time of year. I'm from upstate New York, upstate Vermont, which people travel to do leaf
That's
peeping.
right.
And then I was in Colorado for 5 years. Spots like Maroon Bells is amazing, where it's like, I mean, it is like the entire mountainside is on fire with just the same shade of yellow.
Yeah.
It's super cool. Yeah.
And gorgeous. And we still don't know so much about why these leaves change color. So I know Larry got us a bunch of answers, but even the experts go,
well, it's the variety of, like, you know, why are half the leaves turning orange? Why do some get the reddish hue in them? You know, we know that they're turning green because the chlorophyll is like the powerhouse. That's what provides the energy to the tree during the summertime, when the tree's like, oh yeah, you know, time to stop doing that and hunker down for the winter. That's when all the chlorophyll leaves the leaves. But yeah, those variety of colors, they're not quite sure on that quite yet.
Roz, you'll appreciate this. I remember my days in the helicopter doing traffic.
Man.
And in between, you know, on a slow traffic day, like one of the things the pilot and I loved to do was to fly over areas where you can see the trees and all the different changing colors in the fall time. That was fun.
That is cool.
And also looking at all the famous houses. I digress. Like, we would watch houses go up. We would watch it, and you would love that too.
I was just thinking that. I'm like, oh, you can do that?
Yeah, we would watch it from the ground up. You know, again, on days where there wasn't a lot of traffic going on.
Right.
Well, think about it. I've been, you know, kind of peeping over the mile-long bridge as they've been building that.
Oh, that's cool.
And that's just an amazing thing to watch being built.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, so this morning we are talking all things Halloween because it's around the corner.
Yep, and celebrations are expected to be back to pre-pandemic levels this year, and people are paying for it. National Retail Federation says spending is expected to hit new record highs this year, $10.6 billion. What? People plan to spend $100 each on candy, decorations, cards, and costumes.
Yeah, it's a big thing. And speaking of costumes, Pinterest says the top trending costume searches this year are Stranger Things related, of course. Yeah, the new season came out this year. Also trending, likely thanks to the new biopic, is Elvis and Priscilla Presley. Number 3, maybe a little more surprising, Patrick Bateman from American Psycho. Yeah. But no surprise at number 4, search on Pinterest, Top Gun, following the massive success of Maverick.
Have you seen a lot of Top Gun costumes?
That's like a classic, yeah. I mean, I feel like that's always almost been in style. Yeah. Plus, everybody wants to look like Tom Cruise.
I don't want to look like Tom
not you.
Cruise.
Yeah.
Speaking of looking like Tom Cruise, yeah, exactly.
Right. Are you guys dressing up this year?
Oh my gosh, this is embarrassing. Yeah, so I'm firmly in like the trenches of kids in a Halloween. So I've got a little redhead, if you don't know. Ariel, her sister is going to be a mermaid, and then they want me to dress up as the chef.
Ooh, that's right.
Zootado, I have missed one.
Well, isn't there Flounder and a couple other things you could be?
Yeah, well,
Ursula. You'd be great, Ursula.
I can't be King Triton. I don't do enough pull-ups for that.
Oh, that's right. Triton.
Triton, yeah.
Yeah. That's good.
I'm one of these people who you're talking about spending all this money. I have something very specific I'm doing for Halloween, and you guys will see it on the Friday before for my Weekender segment. I don't want to tell you what it is. But I ordered 4 different costumes because I wanted to see which one fit the best.
Oh,
you're like,
I know, and I send the other 3 back.
That's what my next question was going to be. Are you going to keep them or return them? You're going to return what you don't want.
I'm going to keep the one that fits. But I mean, this is another one of those makeup. You know, I love doing the whole thing with makeup.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is going to be really. And it wasn't one that was listed on that list that you had. It wasn't on there, and I was kind of surprised.
I know what it is.
You know what it is?
Can I guess?
No, don't guess because you don't want to guess it.
Okay.
Well, she doesn't have to tell me.
I'm not gonna tell you.
Just say, yeah.
Okay.
Avatar.
No. But that's a good idea.
That is a really good one.
Yeah, because
then
you'd have to be all blue.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the one that I'm doing is
list. It's complicated. I love guessing games. It's not on the list. It's trending, so it's not trending.
Is it Beyonce? Okay, so not Beyonce.
Okay, so how many more weeks to Halloween, Roz? I can't wait.
I know.
Well, I'm going to tease y'all too because on Windy City Weekend, we just decided what we're going to do.
Have you?
Fun. We do Halloween big around here, and I'm not telling.
Okay. And not even a hint? Like a little...
Nope.
I gave a hint.
A decade?
Nope.
Okay. All right. We got to wait and see. I'm easy peasy and simple. I just put on the warmest thing. I mean, usually it's like a, God, what was it? A Sasquatch onesie the other day?
Yes.
I don't know. It's so cold. It's been so cold on Halloween lately.
Yeah. You're right.
Like, dress warm and get some like hot spice cider and hand out candy to the kids and call it a night.
I can't wait.
Yeah. All right. Eyewitness News streaming out loud this morning. We'll take a quick break. We're back with more in 90 seconds.
Hello, everybody. Taking a look outside early this morning. We've got a few rain showers still in Chicago, but this is a great kind of encapsulation of what we got going on. Those lake effect rain showers are really confined to just the city, the lakefront, immediate areas that are along Lake Michigan. You get farther away, and yeah, I know the roads are wet, but they are going to be drying out here with time. Winds out of the north at 30 miles per hour, driving that lake effect rain, although just barely warm enough for it to be rain, and that'll continue here through today. Watch our temperatures, too. So we hit late morning, early afternoon. They barely budge. Mid to upper 40s, lower 50s at the very warmest. There are going to be some 20s tonight. Otherwise, a bunch of lower 30s. A really cold night with frost and freeze watches that are going on across our area, and patchy frost for us on Saturday before we warm it up to the mid 60s on Sunday. Great weather for the middle of next week. Temperatures in the mid 70s. Just hope it hangs on to Halloween, but don't hold your breath. Ross?
Ooh, I hope it does too. Well, we've got a lot of traffic out there. We're still looking at 45-minute average travel times on the expressways. Pretty bad crash up in Lake County, Illinois. Fox Lake, Grand Avenue closed at US 12. And then, of course, Chopper 7 has made it over to this terrible crash on northbound Route 53 at Northwest Highway. You see that semi on its side, blocking all lanes of traffic. Traffic is squeezing by on the right shoulder, but that is also the exit ramp. So we're looking at a substantial delay northbound all the way back to I-90. And then southbound, we've got a Gapers delay that starts at Palatine Road. Terrible injury crash. The semi and 3 other vehicles are involved there. Avoid the area.
All right, Ross, thank you. Well, thousands of runners are getting ready for Sunday Chicago Marathon.
And one man from Northwest Indiana is participating in the run for the first time, and he's raising money for people living with disabilities. So far, he has raised $200,000. Yeah,
that's a lot of
big deal. Michael Panther is with us this morning live to talk about his mission and his journey so far. Hey, Michael, good morning. How you doing?
Good morning. Good morning. How are you guys doing?
Doing really well. Nice to see you. Nice to talk to you. Thank you for waking up with us this morning. Look, when you think about this marathon, what does it mean to you?
This marathon means a lot to me because I'm doing it to bring mobility to people with disability in Africa. There's so many people there who are crawling on the ground, who are laying on the floor because they don't have any mobility to be able to even go to school. So what we are doing right now as Living with Hope, we are bringing mobility to those people to give them dignity and hope in their lives so that they will be able to have a better life as the time comes, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is personal for you too, Michael, right? Tell us about your journey to this year's marathon. You started training in the summer?
Yes, I started training this summer, and the training was a lot grueling, you know. It's a lot of mental focus a lot of sweat, a lot of, just pain.
Yeah.
But it's just been incredible because I'm doing this because of people with disability, and that really give me a lot of energy to be able to do this Chicago Marathon.
Michael, just a couple questions about you. What's your connection to Africa?
I'm originally from Africa, from a country called South Sudan, and I grew up in Kenya. And for people who probably haven't seen me, I'm a person with disability myself.
Yeah.
So this means so much to me because I want the other people who have physical disability to have a better life. I was born in a war-torn nation, and that led me to being a disabled person. But I find my passion right now to be able to help others who are in need.
Right. So have you even done a half marathon or any? This is really your first, you're going all in. You haven't started with a half marathon or anything, Michael?
Well, I'm just trying, this is my first marathon. I did the Shamrock Shuffle, as you see now, as one of the pictures there.
Yeah.
But I've been just training this summer, so I've done maybe about 15 or 20 miles one time.
One time.
So I'm excited to just be able to go in and do this marathon because the Chicago Marathon is amazing. So
It is. And you're amazing, too, for doing this and raising awareness and for folks back home who are dealing with disabilities. I'm just so impressed because a marathon, anybody, just finishing it. I mean, I hope you aren't putting any pressure on yourself to have a certain time or anything. Just as long as you get across that finish line, that's all that matters. And I hopefully will be able to see when you come along 18th and Halstead. I'm going to be there with my cowbell.
Cheering you on.
Yes, I have a red Ferrari. That my wheelchair, I call it a red Ferrari.
A red Ferrari.
So I'm coming there, and I'm just excited about it, and just the people, the community has just been great. They are just support our cause. So far, as you say, we have over 200,000 raised for this marathon.
Good.
And our goal was 250,000. So just a little short there, but that is great. And hopefully by Sunday, we'll be able to meet that goal. And I'm just excited for the community to come alongside and to make impact in the lives of people with disability who are living in Africa.
Okay, Michael. Well, good luck to you. Carb up tomorrow. Get some rest. You got a lot of upper body strength you're going to need to get you through those 26 miles. So we'll be rooting for you.
There it is. Yeah, okay,
I see.
All right.
All right, Michael Panther, best to you ahead this Sunday's race.
All right, Michael, have a good one. More news coming your way in 90 seconds. We'll be right back.
Well, it is finally Friday.
Yep, the weekend is coming on. It's here. Let's get a check on what's going on with Roz Festival Friday, Roz.
It's so hard for me to write these in October because there's so much to choose from.
Yeah.
Fall festivities are in full swing, and we start with not one but two Scarecrow festivals. Now, it's Scarecrow Weekend in downtown St. Charles. More than 85 handmade scarecrows are going to be featured throughout the town for visitors to see. They vote for their favorites. Fabulous event. And then Saturday is Scarecrow Day in historic Long Grove. You'll be able to build your own scarecrow, and then it will be displayed throughout the town. They'll also have lots of activities, face painting, hay rides, live music, a lot going on there. Now, Saturday is the grand opening of Nature's Play Space at the Peggy Nodebart Nature Museum, bringing the best of the indoors, the outdoors indoors. This hands-on experience for children aged 1 to 7 focuses on Illinois habitats. After a 3.5-year hiatus, the Chicago Art and Antique Show, which has been renamed, it's the Chicago Show, it's back at the Mart. Through Sunday, 50 exhibitors will have everything from furniture and jewelry to folk art and books. Now, the Museum of Ice Cream has been transformed to the Museum of I-Scream, with shocking tricks and sweet magical treats throughout the month of October. Come in costume. They've got unlimited ice cream at 5 different stations and a treat bag to gather all your candy. On the film beat, watch the iconic movie Ghostbusters Saturday night at the Auditorium Theater while the Chicago Philharmonic performs the award-winning score live. That's such a cool event. They'll also have a pre-concert reception with drinks, trick-or-treating, and a costume contest. Val and Terrell, I told you, there's so much going on. Like, I do 2 weekenders, Festival Friday, and they all have different stuff.
Man, right?
I love your excitement about it, though.
Yep.
All is fun.
It is great. Chicago's got a whole lot going on. Love it, Ross. Thank you so much. We're back after this.
Eyewitness News streaming at 7 continues after a break.
Boo at the Zoo returns to Brookfield Zoo this weekend. The Halloween celebration includes a corn maze, creepy carousel, and pumpkins for the animals. Boo at Brookfield Zoo returns every Saturday and Sunday through the 23rd. There won't be a costume contest this year, but kids are encouraged to dress up and come out. Tickets start at $18.
Boo at the Zoo. How fun is that?
Isn't that
Well,
cool?
this has been a fun morning.
It's been really great.
Yeah, thank you for watching Eyewitness News at 7 a.m.
Happy Friday. Friday to you. Going to have a news update with Greg and Roz here in just a little bit during GMA. You'll see that in the next hour. In the meantime, everybody, have a great weekend.
Yeah.
We'll see you back here on Monday.
What he said.
Bye, everybody.
This has been Eyewitness News, streaming at 7. Now, an update from ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Good morning, everybody. 7:56. I'm Terrell Brown. Early voting in Chicago begins in about an hour. Voting opens at 2 downtown sites starting at 9 o'clock this morning. We posted all the locations on our website, abc7chicago.com. Meantime, Governor J.B. Pritzker and Republican candidate Darren Bailey faced off last night in their first televised debate. The candidates clashed on crime, abortion, and the SAFE-T Act, gun control, among other issues. General election